That spongy brake pedal you felt this morning? If you keep dismissing it, you're not alone. But here's a number you can't ignore.
According to the Car Care Council, over 60% of vehicles on the road have brake fluid that fails basic safety standards.
I've torn down hundreds of seized calipers and shorted ABS modules, and this silent contamination is the root cause.
It's a chemical chain reaction that turns a $20 fluid change into a $5,000 nightmare.
Today, we're counting down the 12 hidden signs of this decay, from a soft pedal to total system failure. And stick around, because after I reveal the #1 disaster, I'll give you the 3 exact steps to make sure it never happens to your car. Number 12. The soft pedal deception. Ever notice the pedal travels just a little farther than it used to? That's not your imagination. Here's the thing. Brake fluid is hygroscopic, meaning it pulls moisture right out of the air.
Through microscopic pores in your brake hoses. When that waterlogged fluid gets hot, the water boils, creating compressible vapor bubbles.
In your lines, your foot is no longer pushing on solid fluid. It's squeezing air. Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard 116.
Even defines separate boiling points for new dry fluid and old wet fluid because the drop-off is so severe.
An early catch is just a $150 fluid flush. Ignore it, and you're looking at a $900 master cylinder replacement. From seal damage, let it go, and you risk a total loss of braking in an emergency. If this feels harmless, wait until that vapor starts tricking your car's computer. Felt that pedal drop? Tell me the mileage in the comments. Number 11. The fading color warning. You check your brake fluid reservoir and notice it's no longer clear or amber. It's turning dark, like used motor oil. Here's the thing. That color change is a chemical scream for help. It's a mix of the fluid itself oxidizing and, more critically, microscopic copper particles leaching from your brake lines.
Lab reports from Blackstone Laboratories confirm that copper content skyrockets as the fluid's anti-corrosion additives break down.
Once copper passes 200 parts per million, it acts as a catalyst, speeding up decay. Catching this costs nothing, but could save you a $1,000 master cylinder. Ignore it, and you're priming the entire system for a catastrophic seizure.
I once saw fluid so dark on a sedan, the owner had no idea the fix was a simple flush with fresh Bosch ESI6 fluid.
3 weeks later, that dark fluid starts causing mechanical failures. What color is yours? Check it and report back. Number 10. The squeal that isn't the pads. You hear a high-pitched squeal, but you just replaced the pads and rotors. What gives?
Here's the thing. Your brake caliper has to slide freely on guide pins. When moisture in the fluid creates corrosion,
the pins seize in their bores with rust. That squeal is the edge of the new pad vibrating against the rotor.
Because the caliper can't retract straight. Ford's TSB 18-2323 outlines this exact failure, recommending a full pin cleaning.
A fix now is $90 in labor. Wait, and it's a $300 seized caliper replacement.
If that caliper stays stuck, it can overheat the hub and destroy a $700 wheel bearing.
The fix is a high-temperature silicone paste, like Permatex 24125, not standard grease.
Meanwhile, in the next state, that seized pin is silently cooking the parts that fail next.
Ever replace pads and still hear a squeal? Drop the make and model below. Number 9. The phantom ABS activation. You're braking gently on dry pavement, and suddenly you feel the ABS pump buzzing under your foot.
Here's the thing. Your ABS module is being fooled. Contaminants in the fluid cause the delicate solenoid valves to stick for a millisecond.
The computer sees one wheel slowing differently, misinterprets it as a lockup, and fires the ABS.
Dealership repair logs are filled with cases of mechanics replacing expensive wheel speed sensors, only for the problem to return.
Because the fluid was the real culprit. A proper diagnostic and flush is $200.
Ignoring it leads to a $2,000 ABS module repair. Let it go long enough and the constant cycling can burn out the pump entirely.
Before you turn the key tomorrow, think about that pulse. Felt that phantom buzz? That's the start of the expensive tier. Tell me what year it happened. Number 8. The uneven pad wear puzzle. You pull your wheels and find the inner brake pad is worn to the metal, while the outer pad looks new. Here's the thing. This is a binding caliper. The piston, pushed by your fluid, is getting stuck due to corrosion. It can push out, but can't fully retract, so the inner pad grinds itself away.
Shop logs from chains like Midas consistently show this pattern on vehicles with over 4 years on their brake fluid.
A new caliper, rotor, and pads will run you $400. Let that drag continue, and you risk warping the rotor, adding another $300 to the bill. The catastrophic cost is a fire from the constant, immense heat.
Always insist on a full fluid flush with any brake job to prevent this.
Hit that like button if you've ever found a pad worn down to its backing plate. Number 7. The persistent brake drag smell. After a drive, you get out and smell burning metal. You touch your wheels, and one is way hotter than the others. Here's the thing. You are smelling your brake fluid, boiling inside a stuck caliper. I trust it when you can smell it, and that acrid odor is a safety system failing. The constant drag is superheating the fluid, destroying the pads, and can damage your wheel bearing and ABS sensor.
SAE Paper 2019-01-1255 details how these temperature spikes accelerate additive depletion. A dragging caliper is a non-stop temperature spike.
The immediate fix is a new caliper and rotor for $500. Ignored, it's over $1,000 when you add a new hub bearing. Catastrophe is when the superheated fluid boils over, leading to total brake failure on that wheel. 3 weeks later, that cooked fluid creates the next failure. Tap like if you've chased that hot brake smell. Number 6. The leaking caliper seal. You notice a dark, oily spot on the inside of your wheel, or a slow drop in your brake fluid. Here's the thing. The rubber seal that keeps high-pressure fluid behind the caliper piston is failing. Years of moisture has caused microscopic corrosion on the piston's surface. These tiny imperfections act like sandpaper, tearing the seal.
Aftermarket supplier data from companies like Ray Bestos shows a direct link between vehicle age and demand for caliper seal kits.
A simple seal kit is $20. A new caliper is $200. A brake failure from sudden fluid loss is catastrophic.
The only prevention is clean, dry .4 fluid. Meanwhile, in the next state, a driver is topping off their fluid.
Not realizing they're feeding a leak that's about to let go. Have you ever had to top off your brake fluid? Tell me why in the comments. Number 5. The stuck-on caliper drag. You feel the car pulling to one side, and your fuel economy has tanked.
Here's the thing. A caliper piston is now permanently sticking from severe corrosion. It's no longer a slow retraction, it's a constant clamp.
We prove it with a thermal camera, which shows one wheel glowing 100 degrees hotter. This isn't just wasting fuel, it's a catastrophic heat event.
I've seen rotors glowing cherry red on a tow-in from this. A new caliper and rotor is $500 now.
Wait, and you'll add an $800 wheel bearing. The ultimate cost is a wheel fire. This failure is so common that
Firestone's Complete Auto Care Network lists it as a top 10 brake inspection finding. Before you turn the key tomorrow, pay attention
to any pull in the steering. Hit subscribe, because from here, the failures get silent and total your car. Number 4. The warped rotor shudder. You hit the brakes from highway speed, and the steering wheel shakes violently. Here's the thing. The extreme heat from a dragging caliper has warped your brake rotor.
When only one part of the rotor is constantly superheated, It expands unevenly, creating high and low spots.
The NHTSA complaint database is filled with reports like ID 114532 SO, detailing brake shutter stemming from caliper issues. This isn't an annoyance, it's a loss of control. The fix is new rotors, pads, and a new caliper.
A $700 bill. Ignore it, and you'll damage tie rods and ball joints, pushing the repair to $1,500.
If you think a warped rotor is bad, wait until the system controlling it fails electrically.
Ever had a shop tell you your rotors were warped? Let me know the mileage.
Number 3. The flickering brake warning light. That red brake light flickers on the dash during a hard turn, then vanishes.
Here's the thing. This is a dual warning. It could be low fluid from a leak, or it could be the first electrical ghost.
From a dying ABS module, the control board is extremely sensitive.
As conductive, water-logged fluid causes tiny shorts within the hydraulic unit, the module can throw phantom warnings.
OEM diagnostic charts list this flicker as a key decision point. Is it a $150 flush, or the start of
A $2,000 electrical failure? A total ABS module short can cost over $3,000 to replace.
3 weeks later, that flicker becomes a solid light as the module finally gives up. Has that light ever blinked at you? Drop a comment if you ignored it. Number 2. The ABS pump motor seizure. You start the car, and the ABS and traction control lights stay on. Your safety systems are offline. Here's the thing. The electric motor that powers your ABS pump has failed.
This happens when brake fluid becomes so contaminated with water that it's electrically conductive. The fluid works into the pump motor, causing shorts that burn out the windings. A major recall for Hyundai and Kia models, NHTSA Campaign 20V575,000, was issued.
For this exact risk, an internal electrical short in the HEQ, or hydraulic electronic control unit. You're left with no anti-lock braking. An early flush is preventative. Ignoring the warning lights leads to a $4,000 replacement. If the module shorts and causes a fire,
the cost is the entire vehicle. Meanwhile, in a snowy climate, a driver is heading into winter with their most important safety net disabled.
Is your ABS light on right now? Tell me the quote you got. Number 1. The brake failure warning light. This is the moment no driver wants to see. The red warning light illuminates. Your dash screams, "Brake failure," and the pedal drops to the floor. Here's the thing. The entire ABS hydraulic control unit has failed internally, creating a massive leak or pressure bypass. When this unit fails, you lose hydraulic pressure to one or both.
Brake circuits. My own brother's 2012 Sierra had this happen at 90,000 miles. The pedal went soft and the dash lit up.
The internal seals in the ABS unit had degraded, creating a bypass. The cause? 10 years on the original fluid.
The repair is a complete replacement of the ABS hydraulic unit, a part that costs over $2,500.
Plus 3 hours of labor. This is the checkmate moment, the ultimate consequence of invisible chemistry. Before you find out the hard way, here are the 3 simple checks that prevent this nightmare. First, use the right fluid. Don't just grab any bottle. For modern cars with stability control, you need a .4.
Low viscosity, or LV, fluid. It flows better at cold temperatures, which is critical for those fast-acting ABS valves.
Using a quality synthetic like Pentosan, Super T4 ensures corrosion inhibitors are fresh and ready to protect your system.
Second, obey the 2-year flush rule. Time matters more than mileage. Fluid absorbs moisture from the air whether you drive or not.
So it must be flushed every 2 to 3 years. A professional flush pushes all the old, contaminated fluid out, replacing it with a clean, dry charge. This is the single most effective maintenance you can do, and it costs
less than a single tank of gas. Third, test the moisture content. You don't have to guess. For less than
$20, you can buy an electronic brake fluid tester. Dip the probes into your reservoir, and it gives you an instant reading of the water percentage. Anything over 3% is a failure and requires an immediate flush.
This simple tool turns an invisible problem into a hard number you can act on.
Now that you know how invisible moisture triggers a $5,000 chain reaction in your brake system, don't stop there. Hit subscribe, then click here to watch our deep dive on cooling system electrolysis, the other silent failure that destroys engines from the inside out.